Let's go. We're back. Underground World News Live. Back at you for another one. Good evening. Let's get the mic check out the way. As soon as I see any 5x5s there, right at the gate. Any pot smokers, EC says. Well, way to kick off the show. Much love, everybody. Hope everything's good. Let it burn and rebuild. Much love. Thank you for the feedback. Troy. Nush. Purple. Beach Girls. Barb. Thank you, Mods. Daily. Quantum. Dagger. RJ in the house. Troy. Good to see everybody. And thank you, everyone that shares the stream. Tacos in the building. Pixie. Much love, Tooge. Hoodie Ross. All the crew, everybody out there. Hope all is good. We've got a lot going on, as we always do. So we're going to try to get through all this as smooth as possible. I always aim for about 2 hours here on the stream. But, you know, sometimes it goes a little longer. Here, as of late, they've been a little long. But there's a lot going on, so we got to cover it. Thank you, Who Cares? John Boy, everybody out there, Flip Flop, Tom, Luna, thank you for that super chat. Eon in the building, Joseph, Arthur, If you guys got anything you want to get to me, dabu7 at yahoo.com. That's the email. Um, you can at me there in the chat. And if you follow me over on X, you can always message me there if we're following each other. I got a lot to cover and pull up. Thank you, Spiro, for sending me that link there. I'll pull it up and share it when we get to the Charlie Kirk stuff. As always, we've got a ton of stuff to cover, and we've got little segments I try to hit through here. And of course, Epstein's one of them. Charlie Kirk's one of them. Got some Diddy updates tonight. A little bit of everything here. And it's the Feast of Trumpets. So this is a very unique time in history. You're going to see here tonight, this day, this moment, in terms of prophecy, in terms of where we sit, where we're going. You're going to see. We're going to check if there's some things happening or that happened today that has never happened in like 3,000 years, going back at least 3,000 years with Israel and the biblical stuff. We've been watching. They burned the red heifer and they lied to everybody. And then we found out that it was the real deal. They came out and they admitted it. They're on camera saying this, that they fooled everybody because there was too much media. So they actually did it, if you guys missed that. The red heifer, anyone's still sitting around waiting on that. It happened. I was talking to my dad the other day. He's like, yeah, there is. I was like, dude, no, they did it. He's like, but no. I was like, no, look. I had to tell him and pointing to the videos and the rabbis and all the guys that they're on camera admitting it, saying, yo, we did it. And that the guy that even conducted the ceremony had to be raised 20 years in the house without any, like, a bunch of crazy madness went into it. So it definitely wasn't a test run. Jersey, much love. Thank you for that. We're going to dive into that. And as you can see, domestic terror networks, Epstein, CIA. We've said this before, but we've got some evidence here. And yeah, everything is staged at this point. It's wild. We're going to jump into a bunch of aspects. I know a lot of people get hung up and they're caught on a position of where the bullet actually came from. And there's a ton of different ideas out there, but I really, again, I wouldn't be mad at others have a different opinion, because from what I see and what I'm going to share with you tonight, we've got more. Like, you thought that the palm device guy was crazy. You thought that the guy giving the hat signals was crazy. You thought that the guy up on the flash up in the upper balcony behind the guy with the white hat was crazy. Well, it just keeps getting crazier. I got a different person that the moment he shot, like, oh man, it's just crazy, man. So it's like all up in the air. It's like, well, which one was it? You know, you got all these things happening at the exact same millisecond, which to me is just insane. So this is it's a staged event, no doubt. How staged? We'll get into that and more. So I'm gonna start off here with an RIP shout out to these two hunters that were just killed. These guys were up in the wilderness in Colorado hunting, and they were killed instantly by lightning, they're saying. So that's just, that sucks. RIP, guys. Just out there trying to do a little hunting and get hit like that. That's unfortunate. Well, give me some feedback. I want to see some feedback here. I'm not going to run a poll, but I'd like to see some feedback in the chat if I could. What has your area been like? Has it been wet or has it been drought here this year for the most part? Because my area, it's been drought leaning. Not extreme, but like leaning that way. Years past, you see the rivers down here, like, to the brim. We've had major flooding. But like this year, everything's really low, everything's dry. And it's saying farmers, ranchers in 49 states are going to get IRS tax relief due to the drought. John Boy says drought. Seen him coming in New Hampshire, drought. Ohio, drought. In Western NY, drought, Bella says. Drought. Very dry, drought. Hawaii, drought. Fog lately. All right, I'm seeing all this feedback. Both extremes, Tom says. Moderate drought. All right, a lot of droughts. You guys are feeling it. Okay. Dry except the past couple days. I get it. Same here. I'm getting rain, and it's going to rain tonight. Storms rolling through, this and that. It's been a minute. It's cool. Long as they're not super severe. But drought in Iowa. Just trying to get a beat on what's going on across the board here so I know. A lot of people saying dry overall. North Dakota, drought. Maryland, drought. Much love, Kenny G. Yeah, so I'm just getting Eon says monsoon and floods in Southeast Asia. Man, I appreciate you guys checking in from all over, for real. It is appreciated. So that if you're a farmer out there, this is going on because they know of what's been happening. They say generally livestock sold due to drought must be replaced within 4 years. Under the latest extension, farmers and ranchers who've sold livestock due to the drought with replacement periods scheduled to expire by the end of 2025 will now have until 2026 tax year to make replacements. So this isn't good, period, for our cattle, where this is going. I'll jump back into a couple of the economic things here in just a second. I usually start off with a bit of a space piece of news connected to that. Normally, it's connected to the comments. I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to do a full-blown update on the comments on Friday nights. So just get ready, because I'm going to be dropping a video and we've got so much going on. Got some pretty wild stuff going on, and we're gonna take a look on Friday night some things. But tonight I wanted to point out NASA, as it says here, is now primarily an intelligence agency and a national security agency. Yeah. This executive order that Trump put into place says that NASA is hereby determined to have as a primary function intelligence, counterintelligence, investigative, or national security work. It also hereby determines that Chapter 71, Title 5, United States Code cannot be applied to these agencies or subdivisions of it inconsistent with national security requirements and considerations. No mention of that science and exploration stuff. So he drops the executive order on this, and when you just look at the verbiage right out the gate on it, it shows you what NASA has been morphed into right here, right under our noses, right in front of everyone's faces. And intelligence, counterintelligence, investigative, and national security work. This means like they're looking at you via satellite through your house, like through the roof right now. This ain't good. With Palantir moving in, overseeing all this stuff, the beast is making moves, man. But NASA being used in this function because all they do is put on puppet shows, as far as I'm concerned. Like, show me something like, let's get some real stuff going, some legitimate stuff going. I have a feeling we're on the cusp of some big announcements. Like I said, with the space stuff going on. Also, I've been listening into the Shill Greer. it seems like something else is about to happen here in terms of all this UFO stuff. Remember, it was just last week or the week before in front of Congress, they dropped footage of an orb, an object, which I put out on this channel. You can go watch the footage for yourself. They hit it with a Hellfire missile. It blew into pieces. And the pieces that blew off of it swarmed back around the main circle. Like nuts. Like they just showed us something super special. And like most of the sheep out here sleeping on it. And they did it in Congress. They put it out there for the whole world to see. And they said, look, we nailed this thing with the Hellfire missile. They told us straight up. I mean, just go watch it. I've already showed it. It's insane. You've never seen anything like it or seen them admit anything like this to date. Never, ever, ever. They struck basically a UFO. It blew into pieces. And those pieces that blew off swarmed back to it. Almost like, man, reminds me kind of like, I don't know, Transformer or something like, it's hard to explain. You got one entity, like one ball moving, and like you damage it, but like the pieces that come off of it, it's almost like a pack of birds when you see them flying in formation. They know to get into the sync. They do these wild things. These pieces stayed with it, and to me, it's a huge admission. And they're like looking around like, do you think anybody really noticed it? Like, we just put a video out of us hitting a UFO with a Hellfire missile. And like, nobody's saying anything. Like, nobody cares. So I expect to see something else get dished out. Like, something that's really going to catch the crowd's attention. And thank you, Kathy, for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest, and the best way to support the channel. I appreciate it to the fullest. But yeah, NASA full of lies, deception, and morphed, and like can't wait to get my hands on a really good telescope so we can start locking on to the moon and some of these objects live. I wanted to point out Alzheimer's. The death rate has doubled since 2000. That's crazy. To double in that amount of time, in 20-some years, there's something crazy going on here. Anyone that may have this going on in their family or in their area, you might want to look into this. When I see numbers like that, I got to mention them. Throwing a line up, man. I mean, even the water we're drinking got hidden risks. It says 90% of America's drinking water has contaminants in it. It's bad. Only thing I really need to do here at this point is take it into your own control. Start gathering water. Get a well. Start filtering it. I mean, it's that or just, last time that I was on city water, like I could smell, and I even called the water company. It was telling them this, that like I smell this like chemical type smell. And like, it really pissed me off really bad. And like, they kept telling me, oh, it's nothing. Like, they just use like your basic chlorine stuff or this and that. They were giving me a runaround. It was garbage, but I don't have to deal with that now because out here where I'm at, most people just catch their own water or they have a well and filter it and all that. But there are devices. I want you to remember, there are devices out there that will give you clean, fresh water out of the thin air. Sounds like magic, but it's real. And it operates kind of similar to what an air conditioner does. It forms condensation, things like that. Well, it operates and it collects water, filters it, and it's pure, good drinking water. Especially if you live in somewhere that's humid or anything like that, you can get abundant amounts of water. It's a few $1,000s for the big rig. I think they got smaller ones now for cheaper. It's on my big list, long list, Christmas list. If I ever get to it, of things that I would like to have, because if you're in an emergency situation, and I'm talking like forever, B system implemented, can't come off the land. You need water, obviously, to survive for all your days. Those systems will provide it. They're just they're pricey. Water gen, is that what one of them's called? Okay, well, um, yeah, we're dealing with a lot of stuff, man. You got to clean the air and the water. You got to do everything, because they're going to give you contamination, city stuff for real. And even if you are getting the city stuff, it wouldn't hurt, in my opinion, to throw a good filtration system on it. 3-stage, can't go wrong. They even got some out there that got the black light kits on it, disinfect it, all that other stuff. I'm going to keep it pushing here. Did you know that the world fertility rate is at a 60-year low? We talk a lot, or we have talked about the Deagle numbers over the years. If you guys recall those, like predictions of world population in the future, and it showed massive declines for like no reason. And it was left everybody guessing, like, why would all these people die by this point? Well, we've been in reverse. They've warned us in the United States. Other countries have it way worse. China, parts of Africa, just insanely low fertility rates and low birth rates. On top of that, we're going backwards, man. And they always say, if you don't correct this, then you'll cease to exist. And yes, just distilled water, if it's distilled, has no minerals, and it would be wise to have some minerals on hand to be able to add to that, especially for the long haul. And get this X out. All right, there we go. We have another government shutdown potentially looming. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Some say shut it all down. There's nothing but corruption anyway. If it does come to something like this at some point, and there's a stalemate, I mean, something economic, I feel, is going to come here in the offing. Yeah, do we need a shutdown? Probably. Like, these guys are overpaid. They've sold us out for the most part. There's very few that really represent our interests out there. And it needs a complete overhaul. I go on and on and on about that, but in terms of the government shutdown, like, it's just a puppet show. Americans continuing to tap into the retirement accounts. This isn't good. This has got Gen Z men embracing conservatism. They say things are shifting. And look at this. Analysis from June revealed that a record number of 401k holders made early withdrawals in 2024, with over 1/3 citing a foreclosure or eviction as the primary reason for tapping into the retirement savings. So, look, I've been telling you to get it out anyway. People are already doing it. A record number have been doing it. So if you're someone that's been sitting there thinking, oh, no, I'm just going to, I'm going to wait until, I don't know, something like this, where you see a record number of people have been making moves already. Um, hey, the market's at a high right now at a top level. It's a perfect time because it's not going to stay here forever. And we all know the bubble's going to pop. It's destined to do so. Like Elon Musk just bought in $1 billion into Tesla, which inflated it huge, but he's going to sell at some point and reap the profit off the top. All these guys are. They're not in it to lose. And if they do it in tandem, they do it together, just a handful of them, it's over. Because right now, what used to be the Fortune 500 is basically controlled by like 10 top 10 companies, like just 10 companies or a dozen. And if you take down just half of them, they say you bring the whole thing down. So that's all it takes. This takes a handful of men to come together and to plot to sell at the same time, and they can crash this market. And that's not too outlandish. That's not too crazy to think. You see, when they do big chunks, they got to report on it. But who cares about reporting if they just all sell them one day at the same time? You're talking just like 5 people, man. That's it. That's scary. That's why I call it the great taking. Everybody's going to get left holding the bag. If you're someone that's just put money into a 401k and you've never traded stocks, you've never traded crypto, you've never traded anything like that, you don't know how the game works, you're in for a rude awakening, man. These cats pull the rug in the craziest ways. Once you see that, feel that, live through it, and experience it, you can see what they're doing here. You can see that they're I call it fattening the hogs. All the stock market's at an all-time high. All the stuff's riding at an all-time high. And it's going to pop here very shortly. Trump's done admitted it's going to happen on his watch. And if he has his way, if his man gets into the Federal Reserve in March, that guy, as I showed before, his whole plan is to roll out the Mar-a-Lago Accord and reset this whole thing. See, the World Economic Forum told us they flaunted a great reset. It's not happened yet. It's yet to happen. We're on the cusp of it, though. Don't get it twisted. I do think we got a small window, though. This may be the last Christmas before it. Because that guy is getting in there in March. That's when the new position is. And, that guy's kind of destined for this. They're telegraphing he's going to get the spot. And it's his job to do all that. That's what he wants to do and implement it. So it's not really going to get implemented till then. As of yet, because Powell's not going in that direction. He hasn't been. We're lucky we just got a cut on interest rates, which helps people once the rate on loans comes down. So people can get homes and they ain't got to pay these high percentages. But people are tapping into the retirement accounts big time. I wanted to show you guys because I've been telling you about this for a long time now. And I don't want to see people get hurt. And I have a lot of people write to me or will say to me, but Dabu, even had a family member tell me this. Say, I draw off of that to survive every month. If I take it all out, I'll have nothing to draw off of. And it's like, hold on. You have a stack of money here, okay? And it doesn't matter how much it is. Just call it 100%, And it's sitting in your 401k. And, you can take it out with, no penalties, to very little penalties at this point. Or maybe, some people are going to face penalties. Everything's different, okay? Everything's different for everybody, depending on how long you've had it in there and all that. But if you know that the whole market's about to go to nothing, well, then that would mean your 401k would go to nothing. You won't be able to draw off of it because there'll be nothing in there. That's what we call you get left holding the bag. This happens in crypto all the time. People buy in, guy's holding a bunch of the coins, he dumps it, and you get left holding the bag. You put in like $100 and some bucks, and it's now worth 0. Okay? And that is what is happening here. Large scale. These guys own billions of shares of all this stuff compared to your little bit that everybody's got. Everybody owns the same ones, Tesla, Apple, all that. Everybody's in the same ones. So everybody's about to get screwed royally. Because everybody's in the biggest ones. This is the thing. Everybody's done it. Oh, Tesla's a major. Let me go get in that. Everybody feels good bragging about, oh, I'm a Tesla now. I'm in this and that. I'm in these top 10 ones. And that's cool when it's making money. It's fine and dandy. Okay? But this is not going to last forever. So I'm just wanting to show you, for everyone that's sitting on the fence waiting, like a record number of people are cashing out. Okay? I don't know what other sign. You didn't have to listen to Dabu. Look at the data now. Okay? Smart people are getting their money out. That way, when it crashes, they got their money. And if you can't manage your money, that's on you. Like it's the same 100. You take the 100 out, now it's in your lap. It's not sitting in a 401k, it's in your lap. Now, say you were drawing $1,000, $1,500 off it a month, $2,000, whatever it is, to get by. Just take it out of the stack in your lap. It's that simple. That's what you got to do. Because if you leave it in this position, they're going to take it here at some point. It's the great taking. It's coming. And as you can see, people on the inside already know, you've never seen this before, a record number of people cashing out. Okay, last time I'll say it. Leads me to this next headline. Soaring beef prices. It all keeps getting worse. It's not going to get any better. Everybody's got to wake up tomorrow. You got to survive. Anywhere you're going, someone's trying to get a cheap burger through a drive-thru. All those cheap burgers aren't cheap anymore. And if they are, I question if they're even a burger. I question what the mystery meat that a lot of these places are serving. Because they are taking beef like out of the equation for a lot of people here. By design. And we're getting to a really scary point, man. I've been talking about this stuff for a long time, but like this, our local beef supply here in the United States is shrunk to an all-time low. The price is at an all-time high, and there's no remedy in sight for this. Well, the remedy would be more farmers to keep more cows and to do what farmers do. But if people have not been paying attention, farmers have been getting wiped out left and right. And since nobody cares, it's not till it catches up to them that they care. But when nobody cares about the farmers and they all get wiped out in this and that, and then we get in this position, you're going to wish you had a good farmer around. Or farmers. And you could buy some cattle off of them. And that it's something that you trust. I don't know, man. Maybe every now and then we'll get a select piece from a place that we trust. But you gotta still, certain places don't sell certain things. You're not going to find organic meats in certain stores. You're not going to find organic anything in certain stores. And then you have to deal with the deception and all that. Grass-fed, pasture-fed, all this is different than just raising them in warehouses and all this other stuff. I don't know, man. I don't like where this is going. This is the number one challenge that Americans have right now. The number one challenge Americans face. Cost of living. 67% of U.S. workers are now living paycheck to paycheck. Cost of living, the biggest challenge. You see here, cost of living followed by physical health, then mental health, then work-life balance. then political social issues, then age-related concerns, then housing, and then career dissatisfaction. But crazy how physical health is also right there, right behind it. So the cost of living and people's health. This isn't good. Look, man, that's nuts. Um, Again, I don't like where this is going. It's through the roof. It's never going the other way. It's never coming back down. And gold, let's jump over to that. It hits a new record high. It's just tearing. Like, I tell you to buy pullbacks, and like we hit a ceiling here for a minute. You can see here, it'll come up, it'll hit, it'll pull back. It'll come up, it'll hit, it'll pull back. This is indicative of a ceiling, a straight up, flat out ceiling. And if you could time these things, and you know how to short and long, you could short the top. Like after this first one was set in, it hit on the second, set a short on the second one right here, and then come down here, sell it, and then switch, go for a long. You know that it's going to run back up to the ceiling if it's going back up. And if it stops at there, sell, switch over to a short, and then it comes back down. And it's wash, rinse, repeat. You can do this 2 or 3 times if you're good at it before it breaks through. And if you've got a long set down here on this pullback and it finally breaks through, oh man, you hit it big time. And that's what cats are really trying to do and looking for out there with longing and shorting. And with gold, you can't go wrong. Like, gold's on tear, man. Silver's right behind it, and it's not going to stop. Right here. Let me just go to this next one. This is what I have in the title as the Black Swan event. Now, you may be thinking, well, what was he talking about? Well, here we go with the Black Swan event. This has to do with a copper mine that basically just got taken over because a disaster hit there. And it's the second largest in the world in terms of getting copper and other key metals out of it. So they just took over, force majeure, whatever they call it there. They took over the site, and this caused an instant spike in the price of copper, and they're thinking that it's going to continue at this rate. One little event like this, and they're saying Black Swan because they feel it's staged, it's going to send something like copper running hard. And you'd be crazy to think that if gold's running hard and copper's over here running hard, that silver's not going to run. Silver's going to go bananas here in a minute. It's already like started its breakout, you know. I've been telling you ever since, I've been telling you for a decade. I remember back when like the silver was like $12 and all this stuff, and I was putting out videos and warning everybody. I don't even remember. Like, gold's more than doubled since then. Like, it's been on a tear. Silver always hit the ceiling around the upper 30s to 40, and it's broke through that. That's why silver is like in discovery mode. Like, it breaks 50 and like it can do anything. It can up, jump, and run 60, 70, 80, quick and easy, in my opinion. Very easy. Silver can. And once it breaks 100, it will go bananas. Like absolute bananas. Silver will. And everybody that's out there sitting on some will remember it. It's only going to happen once in your life. And it looks like it's happening. It's initiating. All this is taking off because it's just that time. All the global events, the way everything's moving, shaping up. And again, gold's the driver. Gold's on a tear, and you can't stop it. Here's one. Google says that users that were removed or that lost their channels over COVID-19 can rejoin YouTube. This is crazy. Now, don't get too excited too quick, because they quickly came out over on X and they made sure to clarify that it's only going to be a certain little subset of channels and people. And it's like, oh well, that's garbage. Like, so it's definitely not going to be a majority of the people. And there's people over there already asking, are we going to get this? We're going to get that. We're going to get compensated and all that. Like, you ain't going to get none. You should be lucky that they're even doing this. And like, most of you won't even get it back. Or you won't get your channel back. What they're going to do is allow you to create a new one. You see, you're not going to get nothing back in most instances. Maybe some cases. They can do that. I know this for a fact. I've been into deep conversations because I've been through the mill. Ran through the mill with all this stuff. But they say the Biden administration unlawfully pressured them into censoring Americans, and they're blaming it on them. And why wouldn't they at this point? Because it's an easy out for them to dish the blame over there and to get out of this whole mess, and to act like it wasn't them that wanted to be tyrannical in doing all this. So this is kind of their way of saving face, and we'll see. We'll see just who gets what back here. Okay, we'll see. If I hear that some major channel, Spirit says, look like I'm getting my channel back. Probably not. Well, bro, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's your classic. Well, you're the litmus test to me. Someone like you are the litmus test to me. If you don't get yours back, then this is a fraud. So, you know, and I've lost channels. We've all lost channels. Any one of us that have been doing this as long as we have, you've lost a channel or two in the war. You know, we'll see here. I lost a lot of content. Didn't end up losing the channels. I was hanging on by a thread. But I think the only thing that it saved me there is I shifted over to D Live, remember? And I seen it coming. I just knew, I felt it. I was like, if I want to be able to speak freely, it's not going to be here. I gotta go somewhere with the live streams when it all happened. That's why I did it. It's what I did. It's where I was at. It's what everybody did. We had like 30,000 people roll over there. Because we couldn't talk freely anywhere else, and you all know it. It never happens again. We got to do what we got to do. We keep backups around. That's why you think people migrated to Rumbles and other places. And some of these other sites don't have all the bells and whistles and don't run as good as YouTube, but at least some of them out there served as an outlet, and we were able to do it. We were able to jump over to D Live and talk freely for a couple years until things died down. We were able to shift back. But it just shows you the moves, what you have to do out here. You got to roll with the punches in this environment. And it's just crazy. They admit that, yeah, a tyrannical Biden government came, and they were everywhere. They were even on D Live. Don't get it twisted. They showed up in there, and we knew it. You could feel it. They had shills that they rolled onto the platform, and they roll up and they censored everything. They were talking about things that you couldn't. They were saying, you can't say this, you can't say that. And it's just like, oh, what? Like, feds everywhere. The feds were checking everybody. They were over at Rumble, BitChute. They deplatformed Getter. They wouldn't let them in the App Store. All these places, man. They went on a tirade. You guys know it. So this is Google's moment, trying to save face as far as I can see. We'll see what happens. Much love to Jay Reacher on this one. We got Neon, the number 2 social app on the Apple App Store, paying users to record their phone calls and to sell the data to AI firms. Oh, gosh. So I could see some people doing this, but gosh, do you really want to take like all your? I mean, you have to know at this point, unless people like want to try to make a job of this, but you're not going to make much. They say 30 cents per minute. It adds up to about 30 bucks a day maximum for making calls is what they say here, and having them recorded, and then having all that data shared, sent back to an AI database where it's like it's using everything that you say, all your conversations. Now you could someone could rig the thing, get some automated phones, act like you're calling someone, or get them on the other end, and like carry on these conversations. If you're really that desperate for some money, and you could yank in 30 bucks a day right there to them, just BSing it and gaming the system. You see what I'm saying? And someone could potentially squeeze out more than $30 a day out of that, maybe 50. You never know until somebody tries it. But a hustle there for someone wanting to do it. But the downside is like in the real world, like you definitely don't want your conversations being recorded and sent to an AI database. Come on now. So it's not going to be for everyday person. I mean, but that's how they're pitching it. They want everyday people just go about talking about whatever to whoever all day long, and they're going to record it. Send it to AI. Like, forget that. So they can be building a clone using all your voice stuff, and your voice is a biometric. Do you understand this? It is part of a biometric system. Just like your iris, your palm print, your fingerprint, all that. So it's... I'd be careful with all of it, man. That one, giving it permission to do so. Yeah. And Troy, thank you for the coffee, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to anybody out there who supports the channel. Appreciate it to the fullest. An update on Diddy. And as it says here in the run-up to his October sentencing, Diddy is asking for time served, but he's more than likely going to face decades in prison, just like we've seen others before him. He better. And this has all been fraudulent. This whole thing's been a circus, and it had its time in the spotlight and kind of swept under the rug when other headlines came out, and you're not hearing much of anything on it now. That's why I'm giving you guys an update. They say from time served to decades in prison, Diddy's sentencing is expected to be dramatic. So when this October is going to be filled with, the Clintons are supposed to be going on trial to give testimony or whatever, or a deposition, whatever they're supposed to do in October. And then you're going to have Diddy going on trial. I think it's on my birthday, October 3rd. Kev Barr, thank you for that, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that would just help Big Brother in creating a surveillance state. Exactly, 100% there with doing that. We're not about any of that stuff. But with Diddy here, he's never going to get charged with his connections to the murders of Tupac, Biggie, Craig Mack, his ex-old lady, Kim Porter. The list goes on and on and on. Of people that died suspiciously connected to him, even Prince, in the end. But if they take him down for this, and then no one ever raises it, and he's locked up, he's gone, and like no one, I don't know, no one's just going to go quietly in terms of those murders. Like, Diddy's done been named by their own feds as being a man that wrote $1 million check to off Tupac. Okay, that's part of their main storyline. Okay, the Fed's main storyline. Notice how they keep this all. He'll get thrown under the bus before a Fed will ever. That's how they do this. Can't you see? You never see a Fed get pulled out in any of these positions ever. They'll throw all these other people under the bus before you ever see in the spotlight that they were involved and how involved in all that. But they were involved clearly. They are the ones, the hand that orchestrated all this, all the killings, just like JFK, John Lennon, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Tupac, Biggie. I mean, just go on and on and on. They killed them all. They killed them all. Do you understand? The club, the machine, the beast. Okay? And Diddy's just a cog in the wheel here. He's an expendable. As you can see here, they didn't care to pull his card. And, there's levels to this, and there's levels of sacrifice that can be made, of payoff. We saw that with Bill Cosby. If he thought Cosby was in, lock him up, throw away the key, gone forever, like Weinstein and all this other stuff. But no, they ended up getting Cosby back out, and they're like, how? Because somebody paid a golden ticket. You see, their sacrifice or a huge sum of money. That's what happens. And if Diddy's offspring aren't out there being good little demons, making sacrifices to the beast here and doing something to get daddy out of jail, and coughing up a lot of money and all this other stuff, something to appease them, he'll rot. But there are ways. They show there's ways out in this game. So, look, man, this dude should fry for all this stuff. He's never going to. He's the key to the murders of a lot of people, man. A lot of people. You ask me, they all fall back on him. And Vince. In terms of that whole ring, especially the whole East Coast, West Coast thing, that was all conjured up. The whole thing was meant to cover up Tupac's murder. They assassinated Tupac Shakur. That's how long this stuff has been going on. They assassinated him when I was like 15, 16 years old. Yep, they sure did. And they made it seem like it was something that it wasn't. East Coast, West Coast fed into it. All this other crap. Now we know, through all these details, that the hand was involved the whole time, every step of the way. They even have the stuff on film. But you'll never see all these murders that have been filmed. You'll never see the stuff that they have on camera. That would smoke them in a heartbeat. But anyhow, I'm going to keep it pushing. Black Lives Matter activists here in Boston pleading guilty to federal charges here, scammed donors into this living lavish. She's not the first. She probably won't be the last. If you missed it, Soros did away with all the funding to BLM. BLM has literally been dismantled. It's been shut down. All right, you may see small pockets trying to carry on the name of it, but they officially did away with it. He shifted all of his funding and support to these other groups like the Free Palestine and these other groups out there. And with all the stuff going on with BLM, Soros kind of disconnected from it. Plus, Soros is getting brought up on RICO. Trump is trying to say that it's RICO. And finally, then go get him. Don't say it like you said Hillary for prison and don't do it. Let's see it. All right. Here's one. Newsom. And I believe firmly this guy's running for president from the Democratic side next. 1,000%. This is him. This is their man. It's Newsom. Even I don't know if they have some dark horse they're going to run for president, he'll be vice. He will be in there. And I don't see anyone overriding him. We've looked at the polls. No one beats him in the polls, not even Big Mike. It's Newsom, and he's the bloodline. It's him. Ike, thank you for that super chat. So he is saying that, he's trying to do just like what Trump and them would say about them, trying to rig all this stuff up. He's spinning it back the other way. Okay. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't, either one of these guys. But it's just the way that it is. I wanted to point out and just show you that, like, if you can't tell by the way he's speaking, carrying himself, the way he's on this talk show, and they're putting him out there and the crowd's cheering him on, this is their man. And man, I'll be honest with you, like, in terms of rock star status, because that's what they're looking for. That's what Trump had, right? Right? That's what made him so special in their eyes. He had rock star status, and it worked. It worked. Get the whole MAGA crowd behind it, right? They're trying to pull the same thing on the other side. You see here? And the problem is they don't have anyone that comes close to, like Trump's level of popularity and fame. This is as close as it gets. And when there's a runner-up, even in the polls, and I'm going to say she is going to, will play the part to the fullest here, is going to be AOC. I think AOC is probably going to be his vice, as crazy as it sounds. I mean, you can't say no. They gave us Biden and Kamala, for crying out loud. I could easily see it being their combo. It's like the two best all-stars off that side. MVP. That's like the top players. Why would they not? I could see that being it from here. Duke says, I was wondering what your take was on the image of the donkey puppet staged next to 47 hat and EK's first address I sent you. Oh, yes. And, thank you for that, Duke. And thank you for that. And thank you for bringing that back up. I don't know quite what to make of that. What do you think? Like, was someone else saying it like had some kind of symbology or something? I mean, donkey, obviously the Democrats, next to the 47 hat. I don't know. I seen it. I looked at it. I thought I was looking for more information on it. Is what I was really thinking. And I left it at that. But yeah, that's my thoughts there with those goons. Okay. And who will he run against? He will run against this man, J.D. Vance. That's right.
I think that is the most disgusting thing. The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement. Because here's what happens. Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Okay, thank you for that explanation, Duke. And you guys could hear right there, he pointed out Gavin Newsom. This is projecting. Okay? You can see right now the seeds have been planted of these two locking horns on the big stage, and it's going to be for the big show. And he's doing it right here. He did it right there. JD Vance and Trump as vice president is in 2020. No, I think that Trump's riding off to the sunset after that. I don't think he has. If Trump can't call the shots, there's no sense in him being in there. I think he's old, man. Who would want to go on as vice president? I wouldn't personally. I'd be like, man, I'm retired. I'm done after that. I'm retired, man. Like, I don't know. I can just see that they're setting the stage for this. You know, big debates between these two, and he's already targeting him. He's already calling him out. This is providing for clips, you know, that they can go and clip from the play for these future debates. You know, where he's been saying things like this and that, and they'll have clips from Newsom. But he's coming down really hard. And that was in response to the ICE shooting, and I'm going to get to that here in just a second. First off, I wanted to mention that the would-be Trump assassin, Ryan Routh, had been found guilty on all charges for attempting to assassinate Trump, and this was down in West Palm Beach in Florida in 2024. As the verdict was being read, they said he tried to stab himself in the neck with a pin after the guilty verdict. 4 marshals dragged him out of the courtroom. His daughter sprinted out of there cussing at the cameras, but
it appeared to our producers inside the courtroom that Ruth tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. That's what it appeared to look like. Then 4 marshals dragged him out of the courtroom, took his coat off. They then shackled him at the waist and ankles, and then they brought him back into the courtroom. So again, this just in from our producers. As the verdict was being read, Ruth tried to hurt himself in the neck with a pen.
So, yeah, he tried to take his own life basically in there. So that is that. All right, and we're getting to the heavier stuff here. Where are we at? Oh, just past top of the hour. All right, on a good pace here. Much love. Shout outs to everybody just now joining us. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification as well. Email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. If you need to get something to me, you can at me also in the chat. I thank everyone for sharing and everyone that supports the channel in any way. It's appreciated to the fullest. All right, so we have, I don't have a link up for this one, but yesterday we had a shooting in Augusta, in Georgia. It was at the Augusta Mall. Active shooter situation that sprung loose, and they're happening left and right. There was multiple victims in that incident. I did a video on it that I dropped, okay? Now, a separate incident that I covered here. Dallas ICE shooting. We was waiting to see what came of this here today because it was developing. But this is what happened. A guy fired into the ICE facility and shot and killed at least 1 migrant that was detained. 2 people were injured. The suspected shooter identified as a 29-year-old male. And they say that when they went to try to close in on him, he took his own life. Self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's the story that we're being told. Joshua John opened fire from an adjacent building. 2 people transported to the hospital with gunshot wounds. The 3 victims were detainees. Okay? With one of them dying at the scene, 2 others in critical condition. So he started firing at these migrants in the facility specifically. And in the video that I put out, I don't know if they've got it here, but in the video that I covered, I've got it on the channel here. I showed these shells. They try to say there was anti-ice written on the shells and all this crap. I'm like, man, this is garbage. This is theatrics, man. Like, this is it's got all the markings of what they do. But I covered in the video and I showed images of an aerial shot, and you could see the facility and you could see the building adjacent to it and where it was all laid out, and you could see how the guy from that building shot right down into the ice facility, hitting all these people. But that's what they told us. We don't have any evidence at this point. Any of these events, like, you've got to question everything. Everything. After Charlie Kirk, you have got to question everything, if you haven't learned by now. Like, absolutely everything. Okay, absolutely everything. You can't just take it for granted what they're saying. Like, we need people that are doing research and follow-ups and all this stuff and things like that, because they're lying way too much. And AI is involved now, big time. The only way we can really get to the bottom of anything is if we have a trusted source on the ground somewhere getting our information. As you can see here, this is the same thing, but it says that the Nome and Vance basically respond, pretty hardcore, saying this ain't going to stand. Whenever they come out with they didn't say nothing about the Augusta shooting. Not a word. So it's like, okay, 3 victims in that one. Not a word. This shooting, 3 victims, all of a sudden it's enough for the vice president, Nome, and all these cats to come out and give this big old spiel and speech. Like, why? Like, why? What's the difference between these 3 people and the other 3 people? You didn't even mention the other 3 people. I don't care. It's because they politicize this. It's what it is. And to me, whenever they say something on an event like this, it's because the hand had something to do with it. And this is they're affirming it. It's a confirmation, is what you're saying. It's just like I say, right as soon as the whole thing went down with Charlie, Netanyahu reached out and said something. And it's like, dude, nuh-uh. Like, they don't do that except for one reason. It's an F you, we did it type deal. You see what I'm saying? Heidi, thank you for the coffees. And it's their signature. Just like 33 is and everything else. It's so let me just say this. The woke side here apparently is fracturing, because some of them are seeing that the government is clearly targeting the left at this point. I looked down and seen that's crazy. But they seem to be splintering or fracturing. And the reason is because some of them, like in the pro-Palestinian movement, they do not want any affiliation with the LGBTQ. And I long questioned and wondered, how long is this facade or the fakes out here going to carry on? Because if any real stuff was to come down, they're not going to get along. Especially in any Muslim aspect tied into the pro-Palestinian side, which there's going to be. Okay? Well, Muslims don't go for the whole LGBTQ thing. Okay? So there's places out there around the world you can look up the videos where they're throwing people like that off the roof of buildings. Okay, so there's a fracturing here on the fundamentals, and it's like, okay, you just got all these people bundled up over here and calling them left. It's obviously more than that. Just like they try to do with the right and all this, they try to put us all in these labels and these camps. But it's clear here that there's a massive separation here. They're never going to get along. You're never going to see these two groups like come together to do anything, because spiritually, religiously, at the base, some of these people won't have it. And that's just the way that it is. So I wanted to point that out. There is a big split there. And it points that out right here in this article. So, and you got to think, anyone that's sitting there watching Trans-Tifa or Antifa get labeled domestic terror group, and they're like labeled left already, they're thinking to themselves like, well, we're not under the same umbrella as them. Like, it's starting to get real. Now cats are like, hold on, he labeled us domestic terror. Like, do you see what they do to terrorists? They kill them. They drone strike them. I think reality is starting to set in for some of these groups. Like, it's begun. And it's crazy because you got to watch out. This is a slippery slope. If a Newsom gets in there or anything else, they will turn this against the right quicker than you can blink. And they will do it all because Trump set it up in motion and everyone sat there and did nothing. They allowed it because you cheered on it happening to your fellow Americans on the left. But when the left gets in power and can use it against you, you are screwed. You will be labeled a domestic terrorist just the same. And they're already planning on doing it. And I'm about to show you. First, though, masked Antifa terrorists surround the federal buildings in Eugene, Oregon. They're protesting ICE. And they're not only protesting ICE, they're like begging for war here. The feds make several arrests, but it's like a magnet here, drawing them out to like a frontline war front where they're coming out the woodwork to do battle against the feds here. Coming out, all dressed in their gear.
You wouldn't fucking be here with your fucking iPhone.
Oh man, what an army. That a good squad, man. Anyhow, you know, I don't see then people may be goofy and all this other crap and left leaning and all this, but are they a threat right there? No, I don't see them as being a threat right there, but you know, under the Antifa has now been labeled a terrorist group. Like, I could see an APC rolling up and just jumping out and whooping them and sweeping them up, like disappearing them. And you can't sit there and cheer that on. Just like people are like, oh yeah, Trump signed an executive order to get homeless off the street. People are like, oh, they need it. They need help. They need taken to facilities to get treatment. It's like, hold up. Not everybody's on drugs. You understand this, right? Right? There's millions out there that are like homeless that are not on drugs, right? But like, you don't care about that. You see right past it. All you could say is like, these people need to go to a treatment facility. You don't see the bigger picture. It's ridiculous. You can see, if you got any intelligence, you can see where this is going easily. They're wiping jobs out. He's got an executive order on freaking record now to round people up, the homeless, and to take them to facilities. They've been disappearing them. I've yet to see an interview of any one of those people or where they're going. And now they're labeling the left terrorist. Again, the right's going to be over here cheering it on until it's too late down the road and it gets turned on you. That's my biggest fear. Okay? So you've got to be cognitive of these things. You've got to be aware, conscious. You got to be aware of how they operate, man. That's what I see. The biggest red flag right now. So Trump, look at this. It's expanding in real time. Trump is to sign an executive order targeting domestic terror networks. After what? The despicable attack at the Dallas ICE facility. So you see what the response is, what happens now today after this crazy event that took place at the ICE facility. On the heels of it, he responds with an executive order every single time. And this time, it's going after, I mean, you just labeled Antifa, but now he's broadening it. He's expanding the umbrella. Just one event later, one major event later to them on their tally here. Expanding it. So it's going to be like, oh, this little stupid group, this little stupid group, this little stupid group. They're all left-leaning. Screw all of you. You're all terrorists. And you're all on the list now. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, this is tyrannical. This is tyrannical. Yeah. The left has a bunch of goons and goobers that are running around doing some stupid stuff. And some of them need checks. Some people do need to go to jail. All that for sure. Okay. But do my fellow Americans over there deserve to be labeled as domestic terrorists if they're just out there protesting? I don't think so. Do they deserve to end up getting beat down and potentially killed? Killed, because that's what comes with this. That's what comes with this. Can't you see what Trump's softening everybody up for with the boat strikes out in the Caribbean? Oh, they were just some drug dealers. We just wiped them out. Oh, there was another one, a second, and a third, and a fourth. We're just wiping these boats out. It's just, where's the proof? Like, you've yet to show us any proof of a single person that was on that boat that they were any kind of a drug dealer, a felon, anything. No proof of anything. Just wiping them out. Drone striking them. Why? Because they are a terrorist. What happens when that's you, pure bloods? What happens when that's you, those believers in Christ that are not going to go in the beast system and this thing's hunting you down like an animal? Huh? You don't think that you won't be labeled a domestic terrorist in the end? I do. All of us will be. Anyone that goes against it, obviously. It's my biggest warning. All these strike teams and all this will be used against us, purebloods. Anyone that doesn't take the mark this next time around. Right? All of it's being set up. And everyone's cheering it on because it's against the left. It's against the left. But again, dude, when this is turned, the tables are turned, you're smoked. Oh, what do we have here? The very next story. The new leftist talking point. Christian nationalism is the latest threat to democracy. That's you. Whether you know it or not. Whether you like it or not. Realize it or not. Accept it or not. You don't care about their labels. And this now, you Christian? Do you believe in your country? That's all it takes. They label you a Christian nationalist. How you like them apples? Probably not going to like them at all. Stage is set. I just told you. Everyone's sitting back, letting them pop off this executive. No one's doing nothing. I'll play this clip here so she can just show you where they're taking this.
What you are seeing here is a movement called Christian nationalism that merges Christianity as it's been practiced in America for, centuries with a very specific interpretation of what the founding fathers wanted, what Aristotle wanted, going all the way back to the ancients. You saw Larry Arnn, who is the president of Hillsdale College and a proponent of this strain of interpretation of the Bible, merge Christianity and protecting the Western civilization values into one and the same thing. It's a very somewhat convoluted argument, but if you distill it into the right talking points, it really hits you in the patriotic heart area, as it were.
That's where it begins. Yeah, right there. Right there. Christian nationalism. That's what they call you. That's what they dub you. Everybody out there. You believe in your country. You believe in Jesus. And all that. Yeah. It's where it's going, man. People can sleep on it, but this is the basket you're going to be thrown in. They're throwing you in some kind of basket. You're either the basket where you bow down and go into the system and you're a good little, do what we say, keep your mouth shut, all that. Or you're going to be one of these far left lunatics, as they put it, or you're going to be one of these far right Christian nationalists, as they put it. And it just doesn't stop, huh? All right, so on to this next one. 2 weeks after Charlie Kirk assassinated, we have Hillary Clinton claiming that white Christian men are doing damage to the world. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm telling you about right here. The attack's on. They don't care. They'll do it in a heartbeat. And here it is. Right here, this one says the idea that you can turn back the clock to create a world that never was dominated by, let's say white men, and all this stuff. She's playing her part. She's out here pushing it right on cue. Right on cue. She should have been in prison and all this other stuff, but no. World's a stage. She's out here saying that all of us white men are the problem, right? Not her white man husband that was in Epstein Island and everything else. No mention of that, right, Hillary?
Fact that we have always been a work in progress. We haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, for hundreds of years that, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way, but I agree with you. We were.
So you can see, she's targeting, a certain group of people, just like he's just showing you. And in the end, anybody that doesn't bow down to the beast goes over into this basket of people that they don't like and that they keep targeting. I'm just telling you, the rhetoric is there. They're doing it already. So as Trump's over here signing executive orders going after the left and all their groups, they're literally, their mouthpieces are sitting there at the same time labeling the other side, what they're going to call them and where they're going to put you, in what basket. It's happening right now. And again, since people don't never step up and do anything and protest, and there's no movement in this country, they're just going to get what they want. We should have a very active, we should have a very active, like, freedom group, a true freedom group. Like, that doesn't lean either way. That just holds them accountable. That, like, when they do something stupid, they gather, that weekend, and they're protesting them big time and hard, the right way, and like in pressing them and doing it all the right way. But we don't have nothing. Here is a transgender leftist that was involved in an event that slid by that you never heard of, because at the time, it didn't fit anything. And the media just kind of swept it under the rug. Well, from another event that took place, this was the attempted assassination of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh in 2022. The dude that did that, they're saying, is a transgender. And he's been sentenced to 19 years in prison for the terror attacks. So now, as they're putting pieces of the puzzle together, you can see that all these events got these characters that all check out to be the same. And they are saying that Charlie Kirk's memorial service on Sunday was the largest apostolic event ever in human history. That's crazy. There are a lot of different aspects to this whole thing, and when it comes to the Charlie Kirk thing, but I know everybody didn't see the memorial thing, and there really wasn't any huge takeaways from the memorial that were going to solve the shooting. And there's so many things going on with the shooting right now that it makes one wonder if it wasn't all set up that way to begin with, just to cause some confusion. And we're going to dive into some of this right now. First off, where is Lance Twiggs? Where is this thing? Huh? He's vanished. How'd they let him vanish? How do you let him vanish? How do you let, in my opinion, a main suspect vanish, get away? You're telling me the feds, you don't know where he went? You don't have him on surveillance anywhere? You don't have a cell phone tracked? You don't have none of it? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it at all. This individual, per the alibi and the story they're giving us right now, is very key into everything. Very key into what they talked about, what was planned, who helped him that day. Where were you at when he was doing all this? Like, makes no sense. They should have launched a manhunt for him. Let me pull up here real quick some stuff off the X feed. There's always a bunch of good stuff on the X feed, man. This is talking about, in this one, again, much love, Spiro. It's showing a mystery figure on the roof before he was shot. It shows someone or something on the roof near the stairwell before he was shot, and then it's gone after. Okay, so this is what they're saying here, and it lines up with the area that everyone believes the shot came from. All of a sudden, like, everyone, it came from over this side. Oh, it came from over that side. It came from that. It's starting to seem to me like this is too much theatrics here, man. And we're gonna go over that here. Let me play this, a bit of this. You can see what they're trying to talk about here. See the person over on the building. You can see him right there in these clips. And then gone. So yeah, that puts him right up there above. Okay, let me back that up. Okay, so folks know. I don't know if I backed it up far enough. One more time. Oh, it's probably because it's right at the end. That's why. That's why I didn't catch it. Well, right there. It's actually the first second. Okay. So, in the footage, what everyone has seen by now is that up here, there is a flash. Okay. There's some kind of flash that happens. Okay. This is the tent area right down here, obviously, where Charlie and everyone's at down here in this tent region. The guy in the white hat and all that is down here. And it's up behind him up here on the shelf that the muzzle flash comes from. Okay. This is where a bunch of people, jump on board that they think, because of watching a couple of YouTube videos out there, that this is it. That explains it. Everything changes left and right. I want to remind everybody the official story does not state anything of another wound, of an exit wound. The official story is that he is a man of steel and that the surgeon found the bullet just underneath the skin on Charlie Kirkland, on Charlie Kirk here. And I ain't even got to the snake. I ain't even got to some of the craziest stuff here yet with this. Like, we got some stuff to dive into on this one. This is a staged event. This is a massive operation. Massive. Who is this up here? Is it a guy that fired a shot down and got him from up there when there was a muzzle flash over here at the same time? I'm going to tell you that there is a dozen anomalies happening at the same exact moment. The guy touching his hat, the guy touching his arm, another guy, which we're going to get to here in a minute, that's in a white shirt on the side that looks like he pulls a gun up on camera and shoots him dead. Flat out. It doesn't have to be a guy way up here on a rooftop where the flash came from, a guy from top. I'm about to share with you footage of a guy in a white shirt that freaking that lifts his arm, points it. You see his arm recoil back, and then he's shot. And he's right on the other side of the guy that gives a signal with the white hat, and the guy next to him that gives a signal with his arm. He's right there in the frame. Add that to the mix. So now we've got all the stuff. So what was up with that guy that jumped up? And what's up with the flash? What's up with the guy that did something with his palm from the other direction? That clearly we've got something coming out of it when he squeezes it in his hand. People want to say just itching his arm. Like, they clearly haven't seen all the angles and all the footage. And wait till I show you the palm pistol guy. He's back. He's back, and he's in a super suspicious clip. Wait till you see some of the stuff I'm about to show you. Here we go. Let me pull this back over here and get over to my page. So I just wanted to show you that there was a person on that roof, and that the person on that roof was probably a Fed. Okay? That's how they work. It's how they are and how they work. They have guys in position. If you ask me, it's probably a Fed. I don't know for sure. Be my first guess. All right. So I'm going to tear into the whole top post, the Snake Eyes post here in just a second. But first, let me scroll down here. There's a couple things that we got to tie into this that we just got to go ahead and play. Right here. There is a handoff. something is grabbed immediately. When he is shot, a guy jumps over the freaking table and snatches up some stuff here. I'm going to play this one clip here. This guy's got it in his left hand. He's got an object. Hold on a second here. I want you to watch this guy right here. Okay? There's several things that happen. You can see the arrow on the screen up here. The guy has something in his hand right here. And you're going to see the palm pistol guy. He's out of frame. He's going to pop in on the right, and he's going to meet up with this guy right here that dives over the counter. He dives over the whole top of this. He doesn't dive over to help Charlie or to grab a wound. He dives over to instantly grab an object, something, and hands it off to the palm pistol guy. Like, this is a huge operation. And they're busted in this. They're busted. There he goes. You see that guy diving across? He slid across. Watch. That guy has something there in his hand. This guy does. And I'm probably going to have to show you the other video clip of this main guy in this white shirt. What he does. There's three guys that you need to pay attention to. This guy with the glasses here in the middle gets an object in his hand instantly. We don't know what it is. Okay? But the big thing here is they're not attending to Charlie on the ground at all. Look at the guy right here. See this guy? He picks something up right here. See? He picks it up. Look who it is. Look who it is. Look who comes in the frame. There is the palm pistol man. That is the palm. Look, he hands it to him. He gives him a handoff. These dudes are not concerned about a man dying on the ground. They are concerned about grabbing something and handing it off right there. Handing it off. They're busted. They're busted. Clearly, boom, handoff. Busted. Smoked. Dude, what are y'all doing? Dude shot, dying on the ground. Got three of the guys in frame running around, grabbing stuff, handing it off, and take off. They take off out of the frame. They don't even care about Charlie bleeding out on the ground. They don't even care. I guess people didn't see this or pay attention. This thought, oh, everybody's over there pumping on his chest, holding his wounds, giving him CPR. Nope, none of it. These dudes are gathering all the stuff. This isn't even counting the guys that run up, grab the SD cards and all that stuff suspiciously, instantly from the cameras that were right behind him or right up there on the scene. We still don't know if there was two cameras, one camera, a camera and a projector, or if they even were real cameras. We've caught AI already from different angles on this, on the ground, chair going through a table where it shouldn't, and we know it. Look, man, these dudes are dirty dog busted. No way, spontaneously. You have these dudes didn't even talk, didn't even say nothing. It's like it was planned. Some of us aren't stupid. You got that? Some of us stay stupid. You don't have to like us or anything like that. It doesn't matter. We see right through crap. We see right through it. We see it for what it is. The shenanigans for what it is. That's not a real deal scenario right there at all. No way. No way. And a dude just gets shot. No one else around seems to be concerned. Not a soul seems to be concerned that another shot could ring out. that a shooter could continue to shoot more shots. And I don't know, maybe shoot them or a bunch of people. They all just immediately, like it's over, like it happened. Like they were all expecting one shot to ring out and they could all spring into motion. And they did. And that's what we're watching. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. Hands out. He's coming up to him. Hand out. Boom. Hand off. And remember, the palm pistol guy, we've got him not only squeezing a palm pistol and tucking it into a shirt, he just did a handoff with a guy that just disappeared. Now, let me tell you, that dude dove across the table. He was one of the first guys. He dove across the table to snatch something up, hand it off to the Fed in the glasses there, the palm pistol guy, and then he's gone. The guy's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's out of there. Nowhere to be seen. He's not there trying to help. He's not, nothing like that. Just gone. Dove across the table instantly as soon as it happened. Grabbed something special. Gave it over to that dude. Gone. Like, this is madness. Like, I look for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the stuff that, like, it's a dead giveaway. And there he is. There he is from the video that I showed you many times. There is the guy, the palm pistol guy, that had something in his back pocket when he ran out of there. I shared this in a separate image after it happened. People are like, how do you know that's him? Because we matched all of his shirt and all of his gear. And him running out of there. Now in all these angles, we do not know this man's name. We need this guy's name. If this guy needs ID'd above anybody else out there, this guy needs ID'd. He is so suspect from the palm squeezing. And remember, we've got the palm thing from a backside, from back here behind him now. And it actually shows more than what you can see from here. And it shows something shooting out from his hand when he squeezes it. For the tards out there, just want to say it just scratched his arm. No, he clearly squeezed something, and we got a projectile coming out of it from the other angle, which is crazy. You know, what is it? Was it Mystery Man here? Was it a guy on in a white shirt, which I've yet to show you? Was it the Flash in the upper balcony from the other side, which so many want to believe? You know, when again, if he was shot and he had two wounds, an entry wound and an exit wound, he should have been bleeding out from both. When they drug his body, see this picture right here, down here that's got the circles? This is them dragging his body out to the car. There should have been a trail of blood everywhere. Not a drop. Not a drop. Not a drop. Nothing on the ground. Nothing. Dude's got two holes in his neck. If that's the case, there's an entry and the exit wound was the one in the front, like everyone's saying. He's bleeding out too. It don't just spurt out the entry wound one time and just quit. Like people are just, man, with some of the things you're trying to make out of this, like total lack of blood. Like nowhere. It should be everywhere. It should be all over these guys. It's not. It's not. So you like something isn't right here. Oh, all right. Let me see. I've got 10 years. Counting or not? All right, that's just the palm pistol guy again right there. Obvious that something was sticking out between his fingers. You could see it even better zoomed in right there. Let me see. trying to find where am I? This is why. I was on the main post there. I wasn't even on my feed. I'm sitting there trying to find the here's a guy, a man dressed up as a medical employee. Okay. Remember the alert that I put out? Someone they were purchasing police uniforms, medical uniforms. Someone was, and all this stuff. Well, here we go. Someone dressed up as a medical employee broke into the crime scene. His name was Russell Kennington. He was arrested for criminal trespass and obstruction of justice, a felony level. He reportedly crossed inside the two sets of yellow crime scene and claimed that he was reminiscing and doing this stuff. Now, I don't know. It seems crazy and nefarious, but he could have been anybody. He could have been like any person out there just trying to get answers. I don't have anything else outside of that he was wrecking the scene, or I mean, they did plenty of that. I'm sure it was cleared and wiped and cleaned long before this guy ever got in there. From what they wanted, I'm sure, but it almost seems to me it was like it's this guy trying to get answers here, and he's getting in trouble for it. Here is the guy diving across the table that I want you to see. This is madness, right? Watch, pay close attention. Boom, slides across. Grabs something, hands it off, and he's gone. Slides across, quick. Grabs something. Does the handoff with the palm guy. And he's gone. Why? Why would he do it? Who does that? What? Dude, that is guilty as sin right there. I'm telling you. And the fact that it's all down behind a table conveniently where no one can see Charlie on the ground. I don't think the trap door was right there, but it was like right there. The trap door was like really close, like right there. Like, are you kidding me? And there was a trap door in the ground, and all this stuff. Like, so yeah, that's what I really wanted to see was that. I can't play that. Pick it up. All right, I think that's all that I had shared over here. Oh, well, I'll just keep this set up on the side for when we get to that here in just a second. Now, does it look like a lone wolf? It looks like an operation, the scale of that you know who could only pull off, and it has to be because like there's no way that we can sit here as like, you know, private investigators and figure this out above the professionals that were supposed to figure, and they can't figure it out. They're days late and all this stuff. And no way. Here's Megyn Kelly offering a shocking update here to those witches that were hired by Jezebel to curse Charlie Kirk days before his assassination. I thought that this was crazy. All the stuff that we had tied into this to find out we had witches actually paid to curse him was nuts. Well, here's an update.
And while their article about all of it was published on Monday, September 8th, it makes clear that the writer contracted for the curse in late August. She says she wanted it to line up with a new moon in Virgo, which this year meant August 23rd. That tracks because she points out in the piece that by August 24th, she was waiting impatiently for results. The witch, they reveal, promised on August 23rd that, quote, you will see the first results within 2 to 3 weeks. This was 18 days before Charlie was killed. Not satisfied with this curse, the amped up one alone, Jezebel reached out to a, quote, third witch,
Priestess Lilin. Jezebel opined, if enough people cursed a single person, would the results be stronger? Quote, when I asked her if she'd noticed more political figures being targeted these days, she said yes. The next day, Lilin sent the Jezebel writer proof of the hex she had cast. Quote, a photograph in flames, the edges slowly curling inward, engulfing Charlie's ridiculous, scrunched up little face. She whispered, I imagine, writes the Jezebel reporter, trust the unseen. Chills, writes Jezebel. Sunday, August 24th passed, writes the author, and nothing. Monday, August 25th, still nothing. Tuesday, August 26th, nothing. But then she writes, she reminded herself, this is witchcraft, not Amazon. The forces operate on their own schedule. The Jezebel writer ends the piece as follows. So, did my Etsy curses work? Time will tell. The forces move in mysterious ways. And as the priestess Lilin reminded me, spell work is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself.
No, that's true.
For now, we can only trust in the timing of the great unknown. To you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly. 2.5 weeks after those curses were requested and cast, 2 days after Jezebel published that article, Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. I know what you're thinking. This is a bullshit Etsy curse. Why are we spending time on this? I'm going to get to that in a minute. Stay with me for now. After the shooting, Jezebel took down the article, quote, on the recommendation of our lawyers. They underscored that the piece was meant to be humorous, intended as satire, and that they made clear they wished Charlie, quote, no physical harm, which is not the full story now, is it? At the same time, they said of the article, quote, we stand by every word, which means they did want him cursed. They wanted everyone to hate him. They wanted it to be powerful, and they wanted Charlie, quote, punished for years of regressive rhetoric. They also made clear that taking down the article was, quote, driven by an abundance of caution for our staff. In other words, they were worried about violence against them by Charlie Kirk supporters. They also, they wrote, wished, quote, to avoid the piece being misused in a tense and volatile environment. There was not, they made clear, any change in their editorial and judgment. In fact, they emphasized, quote, we may republish at a later date. They then rambled on about the country's gun problem and the heated political divide in the country and free speech, noting they do not actually condone political violence. Now, again, you may be saying to yourself, why are we talking about Etsy curses? None of this is real. Well, 2 things. First of all, Christians are opposed to casting spells or trying to contact the spirit world, not only because they believe there's only one God, but because they acknowledge the existence of the devil and evil spirits. Here is Father Mike Schmidt.
I'm not going to play that, but it goes right back into, we wrestle not against, the flesh, but against spiritual wickedness and principalities in high places. The jinn. This is my territory here. Like, this is, she's never going to hit as hard in this territory. She barely touched on it right there. But she did. The whole thing in the spiritual world, the forces, as she said, they operate on their own schedule. And it's very true. It'd be similar to dealing with the mafia that's coming up and you want to hit done, you want something done, and you're getting impatient. Same thing. And they're like, well, we're waiting for things to work out, everything's got to work itself out, and then eventually the hit a come, and then the guy back, oh, okay. So it takes time. Certain things take time. It's no different in the spiritual world. For those that lack understanding in this, you're really missing the bigger picture here on all this. Okay, hold on. Someone sent me something. Okay. And thank you for sending this to me. Whoever sent this to me sent me the clip. And it's the guy that I was telling you earlier. People are calling it a cell phone gun. That's what some are dubbing it. And it's nuts because the problem with this is it shows graphic. Here, I'll show you the still. So you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna point this guy out so you guys know from here what I've been talking about. This guy right here on the screen, back here in this white shirt, this dude is holding something. Okay, I want everyone to pay attention to this. Okay, because this is like I showed you the palm guy. I got a guy on both sides. I've got like evidence from like 3 different angles that he could have been shot by. Again, we've got the palm pistol guy that squeezes something and like something comes out from that last angle. Okay, but not saying it's definitively that. We've got the flash up above that we can all see happen. The flash happens and then he's hit. And it's like, okay, they had to be a muzzle flash, had to be connected. You would think, blah, blah, blah. But then you have this guy who literally lifts his hand up like a freaking gun and it recoils. It pulls back and then Charlie's down. Are you kidding me? All right, you see the guy in the white hat? This is the guy that gives the signal, that reaches up and touch it. He already did it here in this clip that you're looking at. He already reached up. He already did his thing. The dude to the left of him, he reaches out and gives a signal on his arm, similar to a baseball player. Okay, both of them similar to baseball players. That's why they stand out and they look so goofy. All the stupid shit that they're doing here has got them caught. It's got them busted. All this is theatrics. In a normal setting, in a normal day, dude's over there, doing something just normal. Not all of this crap. None of this is normal and you know it. So this guy right here, you can't see his face from this angle, which my first question was like, do we have a face of this guy, of this person from any other angle? We need the face and we need this dude identified. But this is what everyone's talking about. We're talking about a phone gun or something. The guy does something where well, if I move it, I don't want to catch the graphic content, but like what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this link in the chat for anyone that wants to watch it in real time. It's going to be the best way to see it. Dropping it in chat. There it is. So we now have several suspicious things here. You see, and people are looking at this one now. Like, look, this one seems legit. Like this one is like, dude, is definitely. I mean, you're looking right at it. You were looking at the object, like right there. The sun's even shining off of whatever it is, and dude's using both hands holding it, and it recoils. It recoils. It recoils, and Charlie slumps over. Okay, but then here. I'm going to come back to the official stance. I wish we were in a courtroom, in a court of law right now, like talking about this, going over evidence, because I'm going to come back to bring me up the surgeon. You said, like, we need more than this. We need official autopsy. We need like paper. We need drawings. We need everything. We need them to show the schematics of what they're officially claiming is an entry wound and where they found the bullet in him just under the skin, because they can't take that back now. Oh, no, 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 no. You done messed up, Man of Steel story. They done messed up big time here. So at some point, either through freedom of information request or somehow we get the data that shows where the entry is and where the bullet came to rest inside of his neck and where they found it just under the skin, matching the testimony. Okay. Let's just, for the record, for the official record, I'm parked right there for a second. I'm parked and we're not moving because we really can't go any further because this has to be like officially answered. Like we need this official data because we have to have it. Like, because then like there's consequences, for lying under oath. And people get busted, and then all of a sudden a huge orchestration starts to get exposed, more so than what it is, actually blown out of the water. And like everyone starts to acknowledge it. There's so much here. This is an orchestration that I think anyone and everyone out there can tell that there's too much of this. There's so many components tied into this that, as I keep saying, I don't think that people should be fighting and arguing over these small things. That's what they would want you to do here. Ready to fist fight someone over this new footage because you believe in it, over the palm pistol guy or the up in the rafter up the flash. It's not worth it. Like putting your energy into finding other small details, like IDing these mystery men. This is what we need to do big time. I'll take the name of the guy right here. We know Turk. We need the guy right here with the shades that's doing the arm signal, the big guy. We need him ID'd. I'd like to have an ID on this guy as well, that's sitting here facing this way, that's standing right here, that would have had any one of these guys would have had a round if it came from that way coming very close to them. This would have had to have been very tight knit, and it looks like it was. But this guy, I remember seeing him. He ran up to help Charlie on the ground when the guy was diving across the table. I remember seeing him, so I want him ID'd. And I wouldn't mind knowing who all these people are. Did they pick up a Craigslist ad to show up there that day? Like, I don't know. Maybe they did. But, like, I'd like to know who they are. Who this lady is, and of course who the mystery man whose face just so happens to just so perfectly be missing in this frame. Like if there's one that I've seen, if you want to tell me, looking through all this footage, where there's someone that actually has their both arms drawn up, pointed right at Charlie, and has a recoil, it's this one. The flash is crazy up in the upper balcony, but I don't have any other proof of anything. I don't have anything but the flash. It's still on the table. It still happened. It's still crazy. What about a palm pistol guy? Can't take him off the table neither. It happened. We've got it on film. We've got him squeezing his hand, doing stuff. Now we've got him running up and doing a handoff with the guy that dove across the table. So now we've got extra pieces to the puzzle, and it's getting even more and more interesting now that this happens. And that guy ran off into the shadows. We need that guy ID'd. We need the guy that dove across the table ID'd. This guy in the white shirt ID'd. This guy in the black shirt ID'd. If anybody's looking for any homework to help out, any extras, and if you get anything, Dabu7@yahoo.com is my email, man. I'll take it. I'll take the information in a heartbeat. We'll add it in here. We need to know who these people are. We ID them. Who knows? Let's get some interviews. Is it out of the question? Or are they going to refuse? Just trying to interview them and then like refusing is enough to report on. That speaks volumes. All right. I guess I have to look into that to see exactly which guys. You said both those guys, but I named a bunch there. Okay, yeah, Schaefer Security Group. I do know about that. I do have the information. Thank you, Duke. Thank you for that, and thank you for the super chat there. And yes, we do know that. And good, quick info there. Not the person in the white shirt though. That's what I'm really after. I want to know. That's the potential shooter. That's the one that has something in their hand that recoils. That's what I'm really after. And we may not be able to get a name, but do we have this person? There has to be. They have to be on video from another angle. This is a homework assignment for all my purebloods. Anyone out there that can hear me. Anyone that likes to get the truth and dig stuff up. Give me the face. Give me an ID on this cat over here. Give me the angle that shows that cat right there. All right. We've got the face on the palm pistol guy. We got the face on most of these guys. Don't have a face on that guy yet. I wanna know what this cat looks like. And I think we all need to. We all need to know what's going on here, right? So now, you sit there and you marinate on this for a second. You think about, man, this is a lot. This is like from both sides, literally. And the question keeps coming back to me like, this is too much. Okay, so what do you mean it's too much? It's like it's too much in the sense to where like they would have known that we were all going to be doing just this. Breaking down every bit. Looking for a bullet in every frame, which should be there, by the way. If it came from the shooter from 200 yards out in the frames, there should be, at some point before Charlie's body, there should be coming from right in front of him a streak of something in one of the frames out of all that footage out there. And yet no one showed that yet. No one showed that at all, ever. It's never been seen. Instead, we've got these little objects that have been caught coming from back here behind him, which gives to the theory up above he was shot. You've got the new footage of the palm pistol guy where it shows something actually being ejected, two things potentially ejected out of it when he squeezes it. Now you've got the guy in the white shirt back here with the potential what they want to call iPhone gun. Okay, but I gotta say, as crazy as it sounds, he seems to be in the best position, and he I don't know how many times I gotta say it. He recoils, man. It's like he's holding a gun. He recoils, and then Charlie keels over. There's got to be like, was there an independent autopsy? 1111. Much love, y'all. I doubt it. It seems like his wife Erica was going right along with this whole show every step of the way. I found out some pretty ironic, crazy things about her too. Her family. Where are the SD cards? The SD cards that got snatched up from the one guy. They're on video saying that the feds have them. Yeah, I've seen all these different video clips, man. But my point is, like somebody said earlier, you can take one of these guys that are shooting on YouTube, and they can set a camera up and they can shoot, and you can freeze the frame, and throughout the whole frame you can track the bullet frame to frame to frame all the way down. When it's in HD 4K, you can track it all the way down to its target. Shout outs to the guys that are doing all these tests. Guys are going out there with 30-06 rounds, and they're showing a lot of different things. One is that hitting him from 200 yards out would not be that hard with the right gear and the right stuff. Problem is we don't see him run off the roof with that. And another thing is with professional sniper teams, it's a combination. It's a 2-man team. It's how it works. And like a lot of these facts are like just being overlooked and all this other stuff. But a guy did on YouTube today pop off shots from 200 yards from prone and laying down and hit a 10-inch plate equivalent to, roughly around the size of what Charlie's head region would have been. And he was hitting. He was nailing. And again, a 30-06 in the resin skull stuff gets blown to pieces. I'm going to keep it pushing. This brings me to Snake Eyes. And this is nuts. Like, it just shows you our work out here has an effect on things. Okay. Well, obviously, it was brought to my attention here in the past 24 hours, last night, that one of the biggest shills in the game out there, I didn't even mention the name, decided to jack my work and use it, and basically sit there and try to clown me in the process of doing so. And trying to target this information. And as I was just talking about all the different angles and theories, they were trying to clown some of the stuff in there, like just like clowning it, like they don't believe in it. It's not possible. And like, that's fine. You can have your theories, but you want to sit there and act like a punk about it, and like obviously be dissing. There's repercussions for that, isn't there? Well, who's stealing whose stuff out there and doing that? Like, I'm not some cats out there just got twisted, the game twisted. Anyhow, a thank you to the person that sends me updates and sent me this. I put the video out and I gave props to the guys in the video that I found it from, Skiff and Bernardo. But this is a wild one. Snake Eyes. This is, add this to the whole mix. This reminds me of the Little Bear and Trump stuff. And like people in the comment section, when I put this up, they were like, well, Charlie Kirk would have been 4 or 5 years old when this movie came out. Doesn't make sense. Like, how does it not make sense? I don't understand your small mind of thinking. You think if they had to have known if Charlie Kirk had been plotting his death his whole life is what you instantly assumed. But that's not how it works. Okay? Sometimes these movies can serve as inspiration for an event to be brought into motion. Sure can. And it does. And has been. And with this one, what I showed is that, and if you missed it, this is pretty crazy. In 1998, there was a movie put out with Nicolas Cage called Snake Eyes. In it, there's some boxers fighting. It's centered on this boxing ring in the center of this large crowd. And it comes down to this one big fight. In the fight, a guy pulls a punch and acts like he hit the other dude. It was all rigged, but it was a setup. Okay. And so many different people that were in there end up being involved, playing a part of it, just like this. So many of the people that were sitting around were like involved in it. It was a staged event. And this is what's going to blow you away if you haven't heard this yet. The guy that this is centered around is a politician named Charles Kirkland that attends the event. Soon as this pulled punch happens, this Charles Kirkland, Charles Kirkland, you really couldn't get any closer anagrammically at all. Like that's like, so that is crazy. But the dude gets assassinated and shot in the neck. I mean, of all places, a person gets shot and killed and hit, and how many times? One time into the neck, specifically, a Charles Kirkland in the movie. Get out of here. No, it's real. This is how this world works, man. Come across this stuff way too much. After I put this video out, all right, when I was doing my research, somebody else said to add to this, and this will blow you away if this is true. And I'm gonna throw this over to Casey on this one because this is what people were saying in my comment section, and I never saw Casey's video on it. I wish I would have. I still haven't. I need to go see it. I haven't had time. But I seen it in the comments. People were like, Casey covered this morning. Blah, blah, blah. The whole thing. And they were throwing in there that on a billboard, it said September 10th. Well, see, I asked Grok that because I heard it before that. I also heard it earlier, but not connected to Casey. And Grok told me no. So Grok would have had to have lied to me. It said September 19th. Thank you, Steve. Much love. Good night. Thank you for the super chat. So anyhow, basically, I got to throw this over to Casey because everyone's saying he did this, and Casey was saying that they were saying in my chat that Casey was saying that September 10th was on the billboard in the thing, which is nuts. And I don't doubt it. I did not see that with my own eyes, though, so I can't confirm. But man, if Casey covered it and he showed it and everyone's saying it, that's like a 99%er right there, you know. I didn't put my own eyes on it, is all I'm saying. But if that is the case, what's his channel? It's Enter the Stars. Same Enter the Stars that was right here with me on this channel for years. Just like Spiro. Yeah, there was a time when me and Spiro held down live streams all the time together. And it was good. And me and Casey the same way. We even had some combos like back in those days, man. Those were the days, man. Yeah, we were like, I mean, Casey does his own thing, but Casey, all due respect, he does the movie decodes. You know, that's right up his alley. And I didn't see that today. I didn't get a notification for it. None of that, which I should have, because I follow him and all that. But it's just how we are. Like, I'm censored from him, and like I don't even know if he sees my videos, like straight up. But when all the people that watch all of us come in saying something, I take it in their normal, like, you know, people I see all the time, like, yeah. We got to get another one back in, though. Like, it's calling me. Anyway, to the point of all this. This is like, it's ritual, Hollywood type of pull it into real life type of event as you can find and get that has the earmarkings. I refrained from putting September 10th in my video that I posted because I couldn't prove it. I didn't see it with my own eyes. But if that is the case, as everyone's saying, dude, this is mind-blowing. I'm not going to say shocking at this point because I'm getting used to it, but like, boy, oh boy, and he's still in the freaking hand sign on the cover of all things. Like this was a dead giveaway. Like, this one was meant for something special. It wasn't the greatest movie. They're not always meant to be. Sometimes they're meant to just be put out there because this is coming from Hollywood. Do you know what Hollywood is? It is considered the most magical wood on the planet. okay, with the most magical properties. You have to know what you're dealing with here. And all these people that are involved are witches and wizards. It's a real deal. I tell you this all the time. Hopefully, at some point, you're going to see it. But I guarantee you there's been a massive spell cast on everybody to get you to not see it. And I try to get it to wear off of you. Okay? It's like the movie They Live. I try to get it to where you can see what's really going on. Okay, now check this out. A thank you to the cat that sent me this. No sooner. And this shows you the effect that we have doing what we do. Okay? The Wikipedia page for Snake Eyes, which has been the same like you see on the screen right now. I've just got it in dark mode. It's been the same for probably since the day they posted it. It doesn't say anything about an update when they had to come in and update it, because they do that. You'll see it, and they'll have it listed as I'm about to show you. I never refreshed this page today. When I got all this information up and I pulled this up on the screen, I kept it up. I did the video. I dropped it. I put it in dark screen mode. A little later, I left it sitting. I get an email. Someone says, dude, bro. About an hour or so later, they're like, since you've posted the video, they've updated Wikipedia on all this. I'm like, no way. Not since somebody else did something. Not yesterday, the day before, all the years freaking passed. But just literally, within hours of me posting my video, it gets updated. Okay? To this. You see that? This is the current revision of the page. As of a timestamp on September 24th, 2025. The assassination of political activist Charlie Kirk share similarities with the assassination of a political character in the film Charles Kirkland. That's all it says. It acknowledges the fact, actually. But it's updated. It wasn't there before. So since I've posted my video, Wikipedia has been updated on this. That's nuts. And it confirms it. It does a confirmation on it. For anyone who wants to say, oh, it's got to be fake, blah, 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 whatever. Like, there it all is. This is the effect we have in real time. You understand? Again, thank you to those of you that fight the fight every day, all the time. In this, it makes a difference. And the shills are watching. It showed me that yesterday. When a big shill stole my video and played it on his broadcast and thought he would clown me on it, it showed me just who all is watching me. They won't say it, they won't admit it, but they admitted it there, and they got smoked on it for stealing my stuff with no permission. Yeah, well, I don't even know what to say about this one, this whole snake thing, besides, it is what it is. You see it for what it is. It's crazy as it gets. To add to this whole thing, a shooter from this way, a shooter from that way, maybe it's this way, maybe all the freaking crazy stuff connected to this thing. You gonna tell me this? Yep. Man, this is one of them things, man. This is like folding up your dollar bills and like you seeing two towers smoking. Stuff like this has been. Rituals work this way, though. You'll come to understand that if you want to figure out how this place works. All right, so we're moving on from that. Man, this is gonna be another long one tonight, isn't it? I gotta wrap it up within 30 minutes. So here we go. Senior DOJ Epstein investigator reveals Epstein was CIA. Oh, really? So who was who here? So now Epstein was CIA. And who was he? Okay, so he was CIA. That removes him from officially being called Mossad out here, putting him where we know he come from and where the money trail leads back to. Through Les Wexner in the Goons. So we know all this. So this is... So, all right, Epstein was a CIA informant. They came out and told us Trump was an FBI informant. So, all of a sudden, both of them, the answers to cover the tracks to all this is that they were both informants for the alphabet gangs. So, who was the criminal that organized at these parties then? Huh? Y'all just show up at Epstein's Island on Epstein's plane, all this other stuff, but no, he's working for the CIA. And oh, Trump was there, but he didn't do nothing wrong. He was our informant. So if you catch him nude in there and any clips that come out, like even if he's sacrificing somebody, he was our go-to. Without him, we didn't know. He had to do it, or they would have killed him. They'll make up a story after a story after a story. Just like they'll kill an assassin with an assassin, with an assassin, with an assassin to cover their tracks. That's how they work. So all of a sudden, the DOJ is saying this. This was caught on camera here. I will say this. I have a weird way of like certain information hits me and I hit it with discernment and like certain information jumps out at me. And the information that jumped out at me on this was like, this whole thing was designed just to make Trump look good and innocent. That's it. And James O'Keefe he did all this, and again, he's not running for his life now. You're right. He was feared for his life here just a couple weeks ago, and like all of a sudden he's not now. And he puts out a piece like this that essentially clears Trump. I'm not stupid, dude. Again. And I've long questioned, how does O'Keefe get away with all the crap that he does done getting offed? All the people he set up, blackmailed himself, and got undercover video on all this. And I thought it was illegal in half these places. If it was you or me, like you'd be dead, we'd be dead or in jail. Is how I see it. How does he get away with it all the time? I've always asked that question. And now, conveniently, this one just so happens to clear Trump. They don't seem to care about going after Bill Clinton because this is a left-right thing. Obviously, if Trump's in there, the Clintons are fair game on the other side. But we know it's a show. Let's go back to that. Like, he never put Hillary in prison. And Bill and Hillary were front and center at his inauguration. No arrests, no nothing. It's a stage. The world is a stage. So, to me, this whole thing was concocted just to make Trump look good, is what I took from it. I'm going to have to whiz through some of this again because we're short on time here. There's a lot. But John Bolton, he got raided, right? They found documents that are classified. So all the crap they wanted to hit Trump with for real, and anyone else about classified documents, they found classified documents in John Bolton's house. So he smoked on that. Now, we've got word that this Letitia James is going to be indicted in the coming days. Oh, really? Let's see some head rolls, roll finally. Something's got to happen instead of just garbage. Yeah, sell out Dan Bongino. Look at this. Former FBI Director James Comey going to be indicted in days. So you're telling me all these individuals all of a sudden going to be indicted? Bring it on. Let's see it. Let's see what happens with them. Puppetry. Oh, I'm going to be honest. This is kind of ominous. I almost feel like something huge is going to happen. You got the Clintons that are supposed to be coming in for all this stuff in October, just here shortly. I feel like something huge is about to happen. We ain't got to worry about it. Trump is pissed because saboteurs shut off the escalator as soon as he stepped on it. As soon as it happened, we seen it. I'm like, what the heck? I tweeted it out. I'm like, dude, like, and then when it gets up there, the teleprompter goes out. And they're saying that people at the UN, like saboteurs, did this, and he's pissed. And he went off on a tangent. You can see right there, Trump rages after the UN escalator and teleprompter mishaps. Obviously, they did it as little. I can't play all this stuff. I'm just going to touch on it, though, here. Run out of time. He calls it sabotage, and he drops, more threats at the UN. In terms of the global war, which is very important to keep an eye on here, huge pro-Palestine protest hit Italy. Okay, so people are writing, and it's pro-Palestine. Remember, I showed you a separation earlier. A lot of these pro-Palestine do not stand with the LGBTQ, whatever. They don't stand with it. All right, so there's a huge fracture there. And a lot of these people in the pro-Palestine group that I've seen, they don't even gravitate toward the left, period, like anything. And some parts of it have been paid off. We've seen it. But the problem with this is it gets grassroots, real people with real feelings to get involved with these things. And they grow. Okay, so since BLM has been diminished, I see the pro-Palestine movement continuing to grow. Okay. Houthi drones slam into a hotel in Israel, wound over 20 people. Ukraine launches one of the largest drone attacks yet on Moscow specifically, shutting down the airport and all this. Things firing back up. Okay. Then you can see here, Ukraine launches this huge daytime attack on the Black Sea Fleet. They hit them with a bunch of different strikes from different ways. Trump comes out of nowhere and says, guess what? NATO should shoot down any Russian jets that breach the airspace. And he's playing tough guy now with Putin because Putin's made him look like a fool. You can tell out here on the world stage. And he's sick of it. That's how I take it. That's what I see, because Trump's been trying to get this accolade for being the man of peace. And he's trying to stay involved in all this. And he's been pissed off at both sides here. But now it seems Zelensky's, singing to Trump's tune. And it's all about Putin. And Putin's saying we ain't giving up no land. And Trump's saying that you should now. He's saying that you should. He flip-flops. He flip-flops completely. And he's saying that you should give up all the land and and give it back to Ukraine. And he's telling Ukraine you should get it back. So it's a complete flip-flop. Really coming hard at Putin in a sense. And Russia mocks it and calls it a paper tiger remark, saying that Ukraine cannot take back the territory and that you're pipe dreaming it. Ain't happening. No way. And they ain't giving it up. Would you? I don't see nobody in their right mind just went through all this would give up any of it. So this could flare back up in a bad way. All because of Trump's ego at this point. I'm telling you. In the world's a stage. Come on. World's a stage. EU leaders want a drone wall put up now. So they want a drone wall to protect from Russia. Like, this isn't going away. Like, it seems to be escalating right in front of us. Growing. China, they dock a ship at the Crimea port. So they're like, okay, if you want to bomb it, guess what? We've got a ship here. If you hit our ship, they're already in it. They already have troops, just like North Korea, being sent to the front lines in Ukraine that have been fighting and dying. So now they're pretty much like, who knows? There could be all kinds of weapons in these things. That looks like a really clean vessel, man. There could be missiles, drones, anything that pops out of this. And they've warned about this. Same's been said about our ship that we've got down surrounding Venezuela. Some very interesting moves happening right now. And China about to roll out their brand new warship around Taiwan and Taiwan Strait. Can't help but think that if, a blow does hit America, lights go out. China's going to take Taiwan easy. There will be nothing to stop them. And Duke, thank you. Says if voting made any difference, they wouldn't let us do it. Thank you so much for the support, man. For real. I appreciate it to the fullest. And the world is a stage. The ex-CIA chief gives a warm welcome to the founder of the Syrian Al-Qaeda, and he does so in New York. It's sickening, pathetic. We're being played, but again, the sheep just don't even pay attention. And in case you missed it, Rubio says the goal is regime change. Like we're going in and we're removing Maduro. So it's known. This isn't about striking cartels or any of this narco. It's no, flat out, they're going after him. It's now known. But with all this going on out here, again, these are sliding on by and people aren't realizing what's happening. But any moment, huge stuff's going to pop off in Venezuela. There's going to be blowback. And look at this. They've started to manufacture the first F-47 stealth fighters, set to roll out by 2028. Looks like we've got some new weapons. And I'm going to end tonight with this. We are in, I'm convinced of it, end times. And the rabbis in Israel have not only slaughtered the red heifer, lied about it, and then came out and told us they lied about it and said that it's been done, and have been going up to the Temple Mount performing rituals. We have something that happened today on the 24th, on this Feast of Trumpets, that changes history. If you've not seen this video, I've got it over on my X, and I posted it on my backup channel. It's on Surviving End Times. Not my main YouTube channel. It's on the backup channel. And it goes over everything they did today that has not been done in 3,000 years, and they broadcast this to the world, something they've never done. And it raises the question, why now? Why did 100 priests come together and blow the shofar, the horn, which is only done for certain things, and one is to usher in the Messiah, the King, okay? And they don't believe in Jesus, okay? Although Scripture says that the return of Jesus, it will be ushered in. There will be a trumpet, loud trumpet that blares. So they like to mock and mimic, remember all this. But they just had a huge thing they'd never done before. There's never been one like it. 100 shofars blown today. You want to talk about biblical? You want to talk about accelerating this whole thing? Dude, they have sacrificed the red heifer. They have blown the shofar. I don't know what else you're waiting on. Like, this is it. Like, for the guys that are doing all this crazy stuff out here, like, they're doing all the steps and we are there. That's why I said expect more big events as distractions, because they'll continue to do all this stuff and the rest of the world will be caught up in, I don't know, Charlie Kirk and all these other things that are going on, and they'll pay this no mind. But this is biblical. Truly, it is. It's never been done in 3,000 years, man. And it carries huge meaning. And it's a summoning. Okay? It's all in the video. Please check it out. The anti is here. They're about to seat him in that temple. And the only thing that I could tell you is going to happen from here is they're literally going to start cutting. Like, all right, they've already got the material to build it. So all they got to do is start building. That's it. It's it. That's all that is left at this point. They had to sacrifice the red heifer because you need the ash for purification rituals. Do you understand? Then they ran up on Temple Mount and started to do the rituals. Now they've blasted the horn. Dude, they did it today. You were living in them times, man. You were living in them times. Don't you forget it. I thank the Most High for every breath we breathe, for every day, for another, for all the blessings. Thank you, God in heaven, for watching our 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, 10, 11, and 12, for watching it all the way around. And help us to overcome the jinn, Lord God. Give us the strength to overcome these demons that are testing us, that are tempting us every day that you put here, apparently to do that. I pray to you to give us the power to overcome them and to help expose them, to exorcise these demons full scale, and to go on to do greater things than you, as you said, as you prophesied. Give us control over these jinn and to cast them out. We move in the name of the Holy Spirit the right way. We don't cast circles and call upon the jinn as they do, as the Knights Templar do, and as the wicked do. They are directly communicating with the jinn, getting deals done with the jinn, putting them to work, and this is what made them the most powerful people in the world. Do you see now? Do you see? You're dealing with witches and wizards, full scale, real deal. No one else is talking about that. That's the real goods. That's where we're at now. Sharpen your swords. And if you don't have one, as Jesus said, sell your cloak and buy a sword. He returns with one, not to come back and sing Kumbaya, but he returns with the sword. Just a reminder, and like a thief in the night. I can't wait till judgment. Separation of the wheat and the tare. That's the separation from the good from the bad. It's a real deal event. And when he touches down, the dead in Christ will rise first. This is all real. And there will be an earthquake like the earth has never seen before. That's the scripture. That's the prophecy for those that never read it and talk out the side of their whatever. That's what I look forward to, what's prophesied. And for 1,000 years in a new heaven and a new earth, because someone is somewhere building something special. And the surprise, if you can overcome this place, I promise you. I promise you there's a way out. Walk righteous, my friends. Take care of those around you. Do good. And you'll see fit. You'll find your way out of here. As Jesus said, follow me. The way out is in. And if you want to know more, those that seek, they shall find. I don't know when the next knowledge conference will be. I want to meet some of you in the flesh before it's all said and done. None of us promise tomorrow. None of us. And I thank all of you that fight the good fight. Calling it a show on that one. You want to see that video? Check this video out on the channel. I've got it posted on my X. It's good. It's 7 minutes. It's probably this AI character voice explaining it, but explains it good, lets you know where we're at. That's for sure. I thank you guys, as always, for hanging out, supporting the channel, sharing, just being here, being a part of it. Thank you, B-Mac, for gifting the membership, whoever got it. Welcome to the underground. I don't know, Jay. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna pray on it. And I hope you guys do too. Yeah. Show coming to a close now. As Eon says, be like water. For sure. And good night. Much love. God bless to everybody out there. Much love, Steve. All the mods. God is my everything. Some of you guys got the best names out there. Hopkinson, Daly, all you guys. Seymour, much love to everybody out there. All the pure bloods. Just everybody who fights the good fight, man. I thank you to the fullest. Shut it down. Take us out of here. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I hope to see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love. God bless y'all. Thank you, Martin. Much love. Again, Duke. Much love. End time signs. Some new cats on the scene. Much love. Thank you guys. I appreciate everything. Adam, thank you for the coffees. Deanne, thank you for the coffees and everything that you do. And Eon, the legendary Eon, thank you so much. Always sliding in. Every stream. No one else can come through, but you will come through. I can't tell you how much that means. Much love. God bless.